Yo, what is up, pussies? We are back with another episode of Mogcast. This is the second episode. First and foremost, I do want to say the first episode, the support has been fucking nuts. I think we're at like 85K views in 4 or 5 days, which is just unreal.
I'm mad about that. I'm happy because it's at 85K. I'm mad because I've been grinding on YouTube for like 2 years now, and it's doing better than most of my vids.
Yeah, and honestly, most of like a lot of people's vids. So it's just like it is what it is, you know. But we are here with Noelle Leyva. Hit her with the little soundboard. Yeah,
like
we learned we could do that. So if you guys don't know who Noelle is, she started off on like being featured in Jesse James West videos and kind of made a name for herself. She had like, what do you have on Instagram now?
86K.
She's gonna pass us, bro.
Yeah. You said that like uncertain, but we know you know your number.
No, it's because it's like 85
Probably
or
because
86.
it grows so much,
Yeah,
dude.
that is true. She gets like 500 a day.
84K yesterday, so it's probably like 87 now.
Yeah, and then TikTok, what is it at?
180K.
180K. She's about to pass me up on that app too.
YouTube 20 something.
20K. I just hit.
20. Congratulations on 20K.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So yeah, you've been doing YouTube for how long now?
2 months.
2 months.
Unreal.
20K.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like some sush numbers to me.
Insane.
And what's the average view per vid? Because that's what's really important.
I'd say like 50K is average.
Yeah, that is nuts.
But
Your most viewed is what? 150?
no, 185K. That's my first video ever.
Dude, I don't have a video at over 130K, I don't think. But that's with you though.
Yeah.
So we're kind of like using you.
Yeah, it was stupid because it was literally just titled Instagram Q&A, get to know me.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, how is this so viral?
Yeah, the thumbnail though, it was
Yeah,
like,
no, that's what I'm saying.
I think does size matter?
I think it was the thumbnail.
Did it say does size matter in the
It was
thumbnail?
like this, me like this, and it was like, does size matter?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Single.
that's it.
cute little girl with like the
yeah.
fucking emoji.
Because
and
I didn't
shit.
know like guys like really wanted to know that, and I didn't really like.
Bro, of course, dude. That's like the number one.
know,
I walk around
Have
thinking.
you watched
I
Mogcast episode 1?
Yeah, I literally walk around thinking like, dude, this. Like,
And I didn't like truly answer it. I was just like, what did I say? I was like, yeah, I guess. I mean, you don't want it too big, you don't want it too small.
yeah, the
That's
classic.
right.
That's the
That's the go-to
classic.
answer,
That's the
yeah.
classic. And you don't get in trouble with that answer.
But I didn't like really think about it though. I just kind of like said that.
Yeah. So what do people usually ask you like your DMs and stuff? Because I assume that they're fucking nuts. Like, what's the weirdest DM?
I mean, I do get ones that are like, can I buy your used panties? Or like, I literally pay to bathe in your bath water or like drink your bath water actually.
I hope they're joking. These are probably
They are. I don't think they are.
I don't think they are.
If you guys are trying to have some Noelle bath water, we got it over here. So
Dude, guys are nuts.
There's some, like-
guys are
we'll
nuts.
bottle it up.
Girls, worst thing you'll get if you're a hot guy. The worst DM you'll get from a girl is like, "Be my boyfriend."
No, dude, I had one who I still talk to. She said, "Snort pre-workout off my titties." No way. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Jeez, bro.
yeah. So, and obviously that caught my attention.
What did she look like? Because okay, I will say,
she's hot as fuck.
really, because
Yeah.
I get some weird ones, but they're always like middle-aged
Yeah, they're
single
weird.
moms that like are looking for a guy and are
Yeah.
just on horny mode. But from people our age, never gotten snorting pre-workout off titties.
Yeah,
Can't
no,
say I
it was
have.
it was snort gorilla mode. I actually put it on my story. If you guys, I had about 30K at the time. I put it on my story. I was like, gorilla mode, get you puss, and simple as that. Use code SUSH.
Well, regardless, that's one girl versus with guys. If you're a hot girl and you got guys DMing you, they can just be so fucked up.
Especially and like, are they usually like spam accounts, like fake
Some
accounts?
of them are like real accounts. I'll even get like emails. Like I don't even want to say the email I got today.
Just roughly sum it up.
Oh, you got one today?
Yeah, I read it to you. What was it?
Oh.
Oh, it's too explicit. I can't
No,
say.
I mean, just say
throw
it. Just
out
let's
there.
just
You don't have
say
to
it,
use the
yeah.
specific words.
Okay. It was something like, that pussy must be.
I think it was.
I said it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was like pussy must be fire, right?
Something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not even that bad.
That's not that bad.
Hannah got one that she posted on her story. She was mad that I reposted it because I exposed this guy, posted it on my spam account. And he said, and he was dead serious. And Gordon Ramsay followed this guy.
Really?
Gordon Ramsay followed this guy. and he said, it was very well worded. I'm just summing it up. It was something along the lines of, I want you to give me a chastity belt that goes over my stuff.
Yeah.
And only you have the key so that I can never get an erection unless you allow me to. And he kept going into detail, and she was like,
Christ.
what the fuck?
How old was this guy?
Say 35. And what's crazy is
Gordon's buddy.
Yeah, Gordon's
buddy,
bud.
man. Fucking weirdo.
And when you looked at his page, you could walk by this guy in the street and be like, normal dude.
Yeah,
Low-key
that
wants-
normal guy, but
wants chastity belt.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect this guy to want fucking chastity belt in his cock.
Yeah,
Like,
you walk by him, you're like, what a nice guy. I'm sure he doesn't want a chastity belt.
No, yeah, I've literally also gotten like full on paragraphs of guys explaining what they would do to me, like explicitly.
yeah.
What?
Just
And
like-
the thing is, the fucked up thing about it, and you probably don't want to hear this, is they're probably like, they're typing that out and they're just like beating
Oh no,
off
and
to the
I also
fact
get
that
videos.
You're gonna read it.
I also get videos.
And pictures, right? I'm sure you get pictures.
Yeah.
Ever seen like a really just tiny fucking penis?
Maybe not in my DMs.
You can link them the stretcher. Or link them
Just
the
link the
podcast.
podcast.
And
Yeah,
usually I
that's
try
so
not to look at it. It'll be like, like, what does it do? It's like, it hides it for you.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
And like,
Tap
I
to
can
reveal.
kind of like see, and I'm like, I know what that is, and I'm not looking at it. So
Tap to reveal.
yeah, tap to reveal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know.
Maybe I mean, who knows though? You could be like, you could have a monster, some guy swinging a hammer in your DMs.
I mean, I assume if you're going to be sending unsolicited pics like that, you got to be pretty confident what you're hanging down there.
Yeah, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it's like, oh, what's the shot that you'll see it? Fuck it.
Dude, what? I just wonder what goes through a guy's head when
Horny is a disease. You
I
said it last podcast.
know horny is a disease, but I mean, it goes without saying, most people watching this and you and me would never type out an essay in MLA format being like, here's what I want you to do, step A, B, C, D, and just like,
Cite your sources.
yeah, citing the sources. And it's like, what is going through their head to be like, oh, she'll like this.
Yeah.
This is gonna.
This
This
is good.
this is
I'll
gonna
wipe
get me
her
a
up.
reply back.
This
and-
is it. No, usually I'm like, block.
Yeah.
Because it makes me feel uncomfortable too, especially if they comment it on my Instagram picture for
Yeah.
like everyone to see. I'm like, no.
You should pin those. You should pin them.
Oh, they'd get lambasted.
Yeah.
All the people saying down bad, bro.
Yeah,
down
they
bad,
would get
tagging down,
down
bad,
bad, down
police.
tremendous, down tremendous.
Yeah.
That'd be so funny.
So
Honestly.
enough about penises because we got into this trap in the last one.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to know, what the fuck? What's the deal? Huh? How'd you guys meet?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Actually, I'm nice with it in the DMs. So
No, it was,
Did
yeah.
you slide in?
yeah, well, kind of. So there was a guy. Hopefully he's watching. Cause shout out to you. He tagged me in one of her pictures and was like,
Yeah.
like let's sush hit or something like
No,
that.
it was like, if Jesse won't hit, let Sush hit.
Yeah.
And he goes, for real. And I liked it.
Yeah, she liked my comment, and so I was like, okay, bro.
So
like,
then he
I followed you.
Yeah.
I wasn't following you
Yeah,
at the time.
he followed me and then he like slid into the DMs, but it wasn't flirting at first. It was, you literally asked I
Yeah.
think if I was gonna go out to LA with Jesse.
Yeah,
and
because I didn't know what to
Anthony.
say, so I was just like, fuck
And I was
it.
like, nah.
Yeah, and then
And then you asked for the snap, and
Yeah,
that's
one
how
thing-
it got started.
one thing led to another.
So you asked, are you going out to LA with Jesse? Because
That was just a conversation.
Yeah, it was just a
started.
conversation
So-
starter.
yeah.
Yeah.
did you figure that they were like a unit?
No, I knew that she wasn't.
Okay.
I knew it.
I think you asked to make sure though.
Yeah,
at
no,
one
I
point.
asked just because I didn't know what to say, and I knew that would spark conversation.
Mm-hmm.
See, you got to use your brain,
Always
even though because I know.
Even though I know, because I
Yeah,
know.
I knew that you weren't going to be going there. I even asked just because I knew you'd say no, and then I'd be like, oh, then we should definitely link up. I think that's what I said.
Oh, I thought you, because you also asked if me and Jesse were together.
Yeah,
And I was like, no.
So were you knew it wasn't.
But
a
I
thing.
knew because I had watched Jesse's video, the like going away video or whatever, where she
Yeah.
was like, they're not together or whatever. She's not going with him to LA.
So what is the deal with Jesse? Because that's how you got started. That's how, I wouldn't say how most people know you because you got TikTok going, and I'd say
Yeah.
most of the people who come over from that. But initially, the first 20, 30K is from Jesse.
Yeah.
So were you guys together at any point? Like what was happening with that?
Not at all.
Didn't you guys match on Tinder?
Yes. So what happened was, I'll tell you the full scoop. We went to college together, and we matched on Tinder. So we hung out maybe once.
Have you known him before you got matched on Tinder? Like, you seen him on campus?
No. Yeah. I've seen him on campus. He's seen me on campus. And then us matching on Tinder is what made us like, you know.
Okay.
And then, so yeah, we maybe hung out once. And then he asked me, you know, to do a YouTube video. I was like, sure. And then it was
at the time, how many followers did you have?
7,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were just
when was
so
this,
you're just
back in like August or so?
August, yeah. And
you were just sorority girl, you know, at the time?
I don't even think I was in a sorority yet.
Okay, just regular
Yeah.
college girl, probably like 7K from being hot in high school and shit. So
No, it was from Tinder, I'm going to be honest.
It was from Tinder?
I got, I think,
Jeez.
4,000 followers from Tinder.
Holy shit.
By what?
Insane.
by
Just
what?
by putting the IG
Just
in
by
the
IG was in the bio.
And 4,000 followers in how long?
A couple months maybe.
Because
Not
think
even.
of this whole network of dudes swiping right and checking her out, and then they go follow the IG because they think they got a better shot.
Dude, I might have to do like for Grinder. I would be worth it for sure. 4,000 in a couple of months.
So how long were you guys making vids together?
From like, so August was when it started till like, when did he move?
I think.
December?
Yeah, I don't know.
Something like that. Anywhere
Yes, yeah. And then just till December, pretty much. Because we
Okay.
went to Costa Rica.
And you did what, 3
and
or
then we
4
didn't
vids?
do any videos really together. And then we filmed for like his going away. And that was
And
was
that
it.
kickstarted your career.
Yeah.
Congratulations, by the way. Just got signed with Raw Gear.
Thank you.
So you guys can go ahead and use code Noelle if you want to get some Raw Gear. And the women's line's coming out too. So if there's any female viewers,
Yeah.
leggings and
like
shit.
is Young LA ever gonna do women's stuff, or is it just
I don't
are
know.
they sticking with men's?
I don't know.
Because I think they could kill some
They
women's stuff.
could.
They could
They
for
could.
sure.
But
You know, my 3% female
Yeah.
ratio is killer.
oh yeah,
They're
sales
killer.
would skyrocket. So because like the thing, excuse me, I've been sick.
I think James has COVID, by the way.
I don't have COVID. I don't have COVID. But the thing that we see the most, or that gets commented the most, and obviously you're sick of this shit, is just like you used Jesse and then you disposed with him after you were done.
Yeah, and then I get passed around.
Yeah, the classic pastor on the industry is
Yeah, it's really annoying because it's like me and Jesse were so platonic, and it was obvious that he did not see me that way, and we were just it was almost like business-like. We were just, you know,
Right.
gaining from each other. Like,
he is a businessman.
yeah, he is.
I will say that when he was here, he's very fucking.
Very focused.
And I give him,
Go,
I
go,
give
go.
him so much credit. He's such a hard worker, and he's so focused. And yeah, the videos he did with me did really well, especially the first one we did together. I think that was his first 1 million viewed video. I think maybe still only. I'm not sure. But yeah.
That one blew up because I noticed that, and I was
Dude,
like,
the thumbnail
damn, that
was
thumbnail?
the thumbnail
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, yeah.
insane,
He was like, he was like, do you mind?
I think
if
I
we
might have
do
even
this?
clicked on that. I probably had like 20K at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before I even
Well,
knew
you
him, I
have to,
definitely
bro.
clicked on that.
I
Yeah,
can't believe
you
I
have
was
to.
I was so shy and innocent. I still am, but I was like really like in my shell. You could tell in that video, and I just agreed to it. I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. He's like,
You probably had no idea because he didn't have any other vids on his channel that had blown up to anywhere that,
That
size. So you
extent.
probably thought, oh, I'll get like
I had
I'll get some
no
followers from
idea,
it.
and that's the thing. I wasn't like, when he asked me to do the video, I was honestly a little bit like, ooh, like I don't know if I want to do this because I was insecure about what people would say about me. But at first, like the what's the word? Like people's reactions were like
Yeah.
really good.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, oh my God, she's so beautiful, or she's so cute. Like, we want to see her
I
more.
still get those on mine.
Really?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was like, oh, like they like me. And then as we continued to do videos together, people started saying like I'm a clout chaser and all this stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm like, he asked me to be in his videos, and like we're both gaining. And
Right.
I'm grateful that I've gained a platform from him, because like I'm not going to deny I would not be where I am without him.
Right. And I think that's important to note is that you can't say she used him or he used her.
Yeah.
Because it's a thing where it's like a mutually beneficial, like,
So mutual.
hey, you're going to get followers from this. I'm going to get views from this. There's no downside to that. So,
Exactly.
yeah, I don't know. Because I've just seen like so many comments about that.
And
yeah.
honestly, that must fucking
The
suck.
passed
Yeah.
around thing, like I didn't say anything about this, but like it just doesn't make sense to me because they saw me in his videos and now I'm in his. It's like, how am I getting passed around? They're saying I'm being passed around
the industry.
The whole industry. I'm like,
well, I mean, if you consider, I guess it's a compliment to me. Like, if you consider Jesse and I the whole industry, I mean, then fuck, dude. Fuck yeah.
You guys are running the shit.
Yeah.
No, but I think that
it's like, I'm just like not like that. And I just wish people would like see that.
Yeah, I do want to say Noelle is one of the sweetest girls I've ever met. So, and I think James can also.
Yeah, 100%. And I think one of the things that made that apparent is that Hannah is one of the sweetest girls I've ever met. And you guys literally, I wasn't worried about how you guys would get along because I figured you're both pretty sweet, but like you instantly became good friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is perfect. You know, I got nothing to worry about. So I just think that for one, girls in general are just going to be more, they're going to be more emotional, right? And they're going to be more sensitive.
Yeah.
And the thing that a compassionate person does when they hear you're bad because of reasons XYZ, they're immediately going to assume, oh, I must be doing something wrong. They wouldn't say this if I wasn't doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So when you go from being a girl with 7,000 followers and no real clout and just being normal schoolgirl to all of a sudden within a period of a few months, you have tens of thousands of followers.
Fast. It happened so fast.
You're still that same... You're still the same girl that had 7,000 followers because your brain hasn't had a chance to kind of acclimate to, okay, I'm a different person now. I'm social media person. You're still in your head. You're like, I'm just schoolgirl.
I had no time to comprehend all of it. So it all just came so fast. And especially when I was getting all that hate, especially after Jesse moved to LA, I just like couldn't handle it. It was so overwhelming. And honestly.
And not only are you getting like a shit ton of followers at the time, but your followers also, like, clout comes with hate, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, 100%. You're just getting fucking shit on.
Especially if you're
a girl.
And especially if you're a hot girl, because you have to think a lot of these guys that are DMing you.
They're insecure.
First, they're probably anywhere from 16 to maybe 20.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah, I'd say.
Nothing wrong with being a virgin, but they're probably mostly virgins or have not had a lot of success with women.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say this like, oh, they're all just
you fucking virgin, bro.
But honestly, it is true.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say that
they don't know how to interact with a girl. It's like anytime, hold on, just to cut you off really quick.
No, it's fine.
Anytime I would like say something nice about Noelle in like a video or in like on an Instagram caption, it's like fucking simp.
No, but that's the annoying thing.
You don't know how to treat girls, bro. Call me a simp.
Go.
I just hate it because there's few guys that'll actually like give me real compliments on my post and they're like, oh my God, you're stunning or you're beautiful. And guys have to comment back and be like, simp, down bad. Like, no, like he's just being nice.
I think
I hate
a couple things. I doubt, and I'd place good money on this, I doubt you've had one single guy that has slept with more than 3 women and is confident in his ability to get women that has ever DM'd you something hateful. I'm sure most of the guys that have DM'd you something nice or a real authentic compliment
100%.
are probably guys that are good at getting girls.
Yeah.
Because that's how you go about doing it. The guys that are...
you don't get girls shitting on them.
Right. The guys that are spiteful, they see it, at least in my opinion, they see it as like, I can't get girls, therefore it's their fault. Because I'm not a bad guy, so why are girls rejecting me? And then they end up getting this cynical view of how girls work. So whenever they see a girl that they think is out of their league, they automatically associate that with their feeling of incompetence.
Yeah.
I can't get her, fuck her.
Yeah.
I know, people do say that to me. They're like, they hate on you because... You know, they know they can't have you.
Yeah, exactly.
But then people also go back at that and they're like, no, that's not true.
I got a comment the other day with a post with you, and it was like, bro, just stop. Like, you're ugly as fuck. She's so dumb for like being around you. And I was just like thinking in my head, dude, what kind of person do you have to be to say something like that?
Yeah.
Because one, you're probably fucking small and like super insecure.
Or
you're probably just sitting, like, imagine
sitting on your back,
sitting in your room,
jerking your
on
dick.
your bed, maybe not jerking your dick, but you're sitting in your bed. Imagine the mind state you have to be in to get cynical enough to go to another guy and say, fuck you. she shouldn't be with you.
Yeah.
You have to be real.
She's
that's
dumb.
that's what's it called? That's
Just being
starts,
sad,
starts
bro.
with a P. It's called projecting, where you project. Obviously,
Exactly.
this isn't rocket science. So it's just like when I see that, I just get sad because it's like, dude, go watch some Jordan Peterson or something. Like, get your life together.
Yeah.
Because like
Go outside,
anyone with
dog.
a brain is gonna see that this is just a reflection of who you are. They're not gonna take your comment about her seriously. They're just gonna read that comment and immediately be like, I feel bad for this guy.
They're literally
you know?
just projecting their insecurities.
Yeah.
And that's like, it's what I have to think when people will go out of their way to type me a long ass hate paragraph. And I'm like, I just couldn't imagine doing
Yeah,
that to someone.
no.
Like,
Yeah.
Even if I hated
Oh.
someone,
that
you
would
know?
make me feel bad about myself doing that.
Right.
Like, I'd be like, what's wrong with me that I
Because
had to
you're-
just hate on someone
You're
to make me feel
self-aware enough
better?
to be like,
Yeah.
why am I doing this? You know, you'd think any reasonable person would get halfway through typing that out and then be like, what the fuck
Yeah,
am I doing?
what am I
Yeah.
doing? Why,
And
why
just
did
to,
I
like,
need
delete
to type
it all
that?
and
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah. And there's
go
been
for a
plenty,
walk,
There's
bro.
been plenty of times where someone will comment hate on my stuff, and I will have woken up on the wrong side of bed, and I'll be like, fuck this guy, and I'll go to type something out, and then I'll just delete the whole thing because I'll be like, what? Why did he comment that in the first place?
Sometimes I'm not gonna lie, dude. Sometimes when
Yeah,
dude,
sometimes I let it
for
fly,
me,
bro.
I just let it fly, dude. Let it fucking fly. Just like fuck this guy, dude.
No,
I'm gonna
yeah.
end this guy.
You guys know I used to be so bad with like responding to them because
Yeah.
I just was like, this is not true. Like, how could you
Yeah.
think this
Yeah,
is
the
true?
last
It just-
last
yeah,
time.
it was
What-
it was bad.
When was that?
It
January.
was,
Yeah.
no,
The
end
it
of
was,
January.
that was February. Yeah,
Yeah, the end of January,
Yeah,
the start of February.
It was
you had a really hard time dealing with the
especially-
hate, just because you had a lot of new hate.
Yeah.
You were blowing up, yeah. And I
Yeah.
remember you were refreshing your page, and you'd refresh, and it would go up another 100, and you'd refresh,
Yeah.
it would go, you know, every couple
yeah,
hours.
and
it's
people
like,
were like just really upset. Some people understood, and then some people were just like really upset about Jesse moving, asking me why I left him. I'm like, he moved. He's
Right.
doing his own thing. He's killing it. Let him be. Like, we weren't together.
And these are also, it leads back to the same people that might not have a lot of experience with girls.
Yeah, that's
They
why.
they don't understand how can a girl and a guy be together for a little bit and then no longer be together.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not experienced enough, they assume they must have been dating before, and now they're no longer dating.
And that's exactly what it is. It's inexperience because I get comments, bro, how could you do that to Noelle? So like, I do want to say when she was here in January, like she was here for 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
So originally it was supposed to be, I think, well, actually, okay, so I booked her flight.
Yeah, we didn't book a flight back.
Yeah, we didn't book a flight back, which was stupid of us. But we didn't book a flight back, and honestly, I thought, like, I've said this before, I thought that I was actually going to date, like, Noelle. We talked on FaceTime for, like, hours before. So when she came down here, we hit it off, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know what I think happened? Obviously, no offense to you, but I think I spent too much time with you.
And
Yeah.
when you don't know someone, it's 100%
exactly,
legit.
when
When
you-
you don't know someone and you immediately, I mean, it was different with me and you, but I also just think it's different with guys in general.
Yeah, and if someone it's like I'm trying to be intimate with, if
Right.
I'm going to spend, I think, like, if I'm going to fly somebody out, I think it should be, like,
A few days.
Yeah, a few days,
Yeah.
max,
We-
a few days.
He got too excited. He's like, he thought I was going to be there for like months.
Yeah, no, literally, I was like, yeah, you're gonna be here, like you're gonna
Like,
love
who cares?
Houston.
I remember thinking,
Yeah,
and you
and
were
then-
like, oh, I don't want her to leave. Like, why does she have to have a return ticket?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly,
it's all gonna be
exactly. And
roses.
then, like,
you were also less experienced at that point.
yeah,
Yeah.
You
And so
know?
now I know, like, honestly, like, no hate to Noelle, obviously, but 14 days with someone that you've never met, and then 24/7.
Right.
Yeah, well, it just
24/7
living
Yeah.
living in your house.
Yeah.
Because with any two people, you know, you might have 50 things that click and then 20 things that don't click, and you're going to have to learn how to make those 20 things that don't click. You're going to have to learn how to make those
Right.
work well. And if they're with you, you don't have any time to kind of sit back and reflect and be like, well, you know what? I am kind of naturally a very intense person, so maybe I can work on this and that, right? You don't have any time to reflect. So it just builds and builds and builds. And I think that's why the way it worked out with Hannah and I was perfect, because the first time I saw her was in, oh, do you hear that buzz?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck.
playing with the chords, bro. We're good.
I still hear it.
Sorry about this, guys. I think we're good.
First time I saw her was in May 2019, and we've been talking for a couple weeks at that point. And I saw her for a day because that's all the time we had. And then it was like a feeling of, damn, I wish I didn't have to leave. Like, I
Yeah.
wish I could get to know
Yeah.
her more, be with her in person more.
But I think
And
that was
then-
perfect, bro.
exactly.
Yeah,
I almost
exactly.
think, sorry to cut your story off, but I almost think, like, the act of missing someone, like seeing someone for a day or two and then you don't see them for a month. That's not a month, but maybe like a week.
A week, yeah.
That's almost like building up the tension, and like 100%. Then when you see them, it's just like you are so like in love with them. Yeah. Not necessarily 100%. Actually in love, but you're so like, what would you call it? Just so committed to like learning about them because it's like that one time in a week that you get to see her. Right. So it's like, I think that was probably perfect for you and Hannah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like after the 14 days with Noelle, I mean, I we had to talk, and I was like, yo, I think we should just like stay as friends and whatnot. And then obviously she came back down here, which has been awesome. So, but like when people were like, yo, how could you do that to Noelle? She was like into you or whatever. And I was like, it was mutual. We just didn't want to date. We didn't think it was good. Yeah. Just because like we get along doesn't mean we have to date.
And I mean, I've lived with you, and
bro, there are times
you're one of my closest friends, but there are times where I want to fucking rip your head off. Yeah. So I can see how Noelle would be here for 14 days, and she's like, this fucking guy.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
He really wants this fucking guy.
Yeah, be like that.
After like some Anadrol at the gym.
Oh,
dude.
No. That's the worst.
Oh, we have some good story. We should probably just tell a little story right now. Just
okay.
Like the boy. Like you were here.
Okay, glasses. Remember when I lost my glasses?
Right. Yeah.
Bro. Okay, you haven't heard about this, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, this was like right before you came.
I have a habit of losing stuff. And, you know, my mom is very organized. She keeps stuff in filing cabinets. She knows where everything is. And that's the way she goes through life, and it works for her. My dad, all over the place, in outer space 24/7, very scatterbrained, but he's learned to live with himself, and he knows how to manage it. He's been alive for so long that he just knows how to manage the scatterbrained. I'm 21. I haven't had enough experience on how to manage the whole scatterbrained issue, so I'm leaving shit everywhere, and it's an issue that I'm trying to consciously work on. Long story short, I lost my glasses, kind of blind at night. Sush was sick of driving.
No, my car was in the shop.
Oh yeah, so I had to drive.
Yeah,
I had to drive Madrid's little shitbox, and sorry
Madrid.
But
we love the Hyundai Sonata. You're getting a Tesla soon.
We had taken we might have taken Anadrol, I don't remember, but we were hyped up and ready to go. All right, let's go. Let me just find my glasses, and I couldn't find them, and I couldn't find them. Yeah. I was looking everywhere, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Where are my glasses? And Sush was like, bro, let's go. And now he's starting to get heated because he can't go to the gym. We both want to train. I'm starting to get heated because I'm like, bro, what the fuck do you want me to do? Yeah. I can't find my glasses. You want me to make them magically appear in my hand?
It's the stupidest thing. And it's the fact that it was a pride thing for me because I could have just driven. Well, I could have just driven. Yeah, I ended up driving that night. But like
you were
earlier,
mad about it.
But yeah, like 15 minutes earlier, I could have been like, okay, I'll just drive to the gym. But because we were on Anadrol, you know,
and we were just ready to go.
Yeah, we were ready to go to the gym. We were ready to fuck shit up. And I was just like, I don't want to drive, dude. And
you were like, I don't want to drive. And I'm like, I'm all logical, so I'm thinking, listen, dude, we have two options, okay? I'm blind, and we need to go to the gym. Either I get into an accident or you drive to the gym. And Sush was like, dude, find your glasses. And I'm like, dude, oh my God. Yeah. I was getting so heated, and he was getting just as heated when he'd see me get heated. So I'm like, what do you want me to do? Yeah. How do you want me to find them?
No.
And he's like, bro, just fucking find them.
When you went into the garage.
Oh yeah. And Madrid, then eventually I'm like, bro, listen, you know what? I'm going to fucking drive, and I'll drive blind. I don't care. If we get into an accident, it's not on me, okay?
Oh, God.
You went into the garage, and Madrid is actually the only one who knows this because he was the only one in the house. When you were in there, you were in the car.
I heard you scream something.
I fucking screamed, dude. I was just like, I did one of those things like I talk about. I flexed every single fucking muscle in my body, and I screamed as loud as I could because I just needed to let out. I just needed to let something out, dude.
And when you did that, when you came into the car afterwards, literally 2 minutes later, we were like, yo, bro, I'm not mad at you. It's just I'm mad at myself. Music, dog. Yeah, because you let it out. It's like all this shit just builds up, and then you're just like, fuck. Yeah. I heard you say like, you were like, I'm gonna fucking kick your ass, dude.
It was just so dumb, man. It was so dumb. But then like 15 minutes later, we're fine. We're driving to the gym, listening to Lou.
And I'm pissed. I'm sitting in the driver's seat, and I heard you say that, and I'm like, I don't want to fight him. I mean, he's my buddy.
Exactly.
That always happens.
Now that we're on the topic of gear though, what are your thoughts on gear? Like guys on gear or even girls on gear?
Or what do you know? What do you know about gear?
I mean, don't know much about it. I only know a little bit because of you guys. I remember when I first started talking to him, and he sent me a picture of like your needles or whatever, and I was like, are those steroids? And I was expecting him to deny it, and he was like, yeah. And I
Because
was
I
like,
thought you had known. I'm like pretty open
Right,
about it, so I
right,
thought
right.
and
you
I
had
was
maybe
like,
known.
oh. And at first I was like, don't do that. Now
And
it's
then
just
I
like, I'm
I
so used to
yeah.
it. I don't think anything of it at
Yeah.
this point.
And you're almost like when you came down here last time, you were telling me to like stop. You were like trying to
Yeah.
convince me to stop.
Because I just like, I'm the type of person who cares so much. I was like, I don't want you to hurt yourself
Yeah.
or like.
Yeah, that's biggest thing because, and I think a big part of that is you hear news about steroids, obviously, and it sucks looking at you through
I
this
know,
little thing.
I know.
That's so annoying, but okay, that's better.
Yeah, that's better.
The only news you hear, right, is going to be like the worst horror stories. 'Cause
Yeah.
They're not going to go write an article called 21-year-old takes steroids and nothing bad happens to him.
21-year-old gets fucking jacked.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So the only news stories are going to be like the most sensational, like this guy was taking anabolic steroids and his heart exploded. And then you look a little
Yeah.
deeper and it turns out like he had a congenital heart defect or he was taking 1,000,000 grams of gear. You know, you don't hear about the other 99.999% that get their blood work done. They're taking low doses. They're taking the supplements they need to take. Obviously, it's all risk mitigation at the end of the day, but there's healthier ways to do it. And then there's like, I don't
Unhealthy
give a
ways.
fuck. I'm just going to get jacked.
Yeah.
And I definitely actually say we're more towards the healthy side.
100%.
Right? We're on that spectrum. I'd say we're more towards the healthy side. We joke about it. We joke about being, reckless or whatever. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of conversations where it's like, I wish I could take XYZ, but I'm not going to because it fucks up the liver or whatever.
Yeah, fucks my acne, something like that.
Right. So I just think that a lot of people, they hear steroids and they immediately imagine like the clip art, like big guy with a big syringe in his arm.
Open bodybuilder,
Yeah,
bald
yeah,
head,
yeah.
back knee and shit.
Right. I've always had back.
Well, no,
I mean, come on, man. But
I'm attacking you right now. I start describing you exactly. I'm like, short guy, fucking
Fuck
huge as fuck.
I'm average height, guys. I'm 5'9". Okay,
It's true. It's average.
it's dead average.
Yep.
You know the weird thing about height, because we were talking about like male insecurities on the last video.
I think height is the number one.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. Because
In
you don't
terms of-
walk
in
around
term-
swinging your dick around. I don't think like a small dick is being insecure. I think height is a 100%.
The most common insecurity.
Yes.
You know what's funny is I'm still not insecure about height, but I notice it more now. And I remember when I was young, I'm just gonna make sure camcorder is still going, okay?
Yeah. But what were you like with me being like 6'3" and you being 5'4"?
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm like more like 6'4", but
You are pretty fucking tall.
Yeah,
because
he's
I
like,
stood next to
he's like a
Dave,
foot taller than me.
and I think Dave.
Dave's like 6'2".
I think Dave is about 6'2" and a half and rounds up, which, you know what, at that height, I don't like whatever. I think you are 6'3" and a half.
Yeah. I'm probably 6'3", I'll round up 6'4", and then when I wear shoes, I'm 6'5".
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm walking around at 6'5", and obviously I'm like, I'm a tall guy.
Yeah.
So is that like for guys, you think I walk around and you're like, oh, that guy's like tall? Is that something you think about?
Well, it's definitely a plus.
No, but I'm saying like if you were to see me in like the grocery store and then like you're just like thinking like he catches your attention because he's tall as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well, like,
I guess it's warranted
like
to be
6'4" is pretty
Yeah.
tall, so I'm gonna be like, oh.
He's tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Because
jacked.
for some
Tall and
reason,
jacked.
and I've heard like when I was young, I remember this argument I had with my friend at the time, and I was probably 12, and I remember I had him so backed into a corner, argument-wise.
He had him on
he
the
just
ropes.
freaked out. Yeah, and he was like, well, fuck you, I'm taller than you. And I remember that was the first time I'd ever heard anything about a masculine height tie, and I just remember laughing at him and being like, what?
Yeah.
It's like if you said you had bigger feet than me, I'd be like,
So?
okay.
Yeah. Dude, imagine we were arguing on Anadrol and I was like, fuck you, I'm taller than you, bro.
I'd be like, yeah, you are.
That'd be the corniest thing.
No, but imagine if we were arguing on Anadrol and you were like, what's your shoe size, bud?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm size
Same
13.
thing.
I'd be like,
Put up your palms, bro. And we like measure our hands and I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, I have bigger hands than you, bro.
because I had, at that point, I just never heard of I'd heard of all the other stuff that guys are usually insecure about because I was 12 or 13, but for some reason, I never heard about height at that point. And I just continued to not care or really notice. I mean, obviously, if someone was like 6'4", I'd be like, oh, that guy's tall. But it was once I got into the fitness industry where it's all superficial. It's all like looks based.
Angles.
Yeah.
And the most common question I get is, how tall are you, bro? How tall are you? How tall are you? How tall? And I'm like, I mean, I'm 5'9". Like, what?
Because if you're jacked, if you're super jacked, they're going to assume you're like super short because they want to compensate and be like, oh, he's only jacked because he's short.
That's true. But also I think that in pictures, because one of the most common things I hear when people meet me is, oh, you're taller in person. Because I mean, I'm not tall, but I think people think that I'm like 5'4", 5'5".
You take pics with me.
I take pics with you.
Which is an L every time.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Literally. And when you judge someone's height from a picture and they're not standing next to anyone, you usually look at their head and neck and compare it to how big their body is, right? And I just have a big fucking head and neck. So I think people are like, oh, this guy's got to be like 5'4". And they meet me and they're, oh, he's taller than I thought. But it's just funny that it was never even a thought until the fitness industry. And I'm like, why does this matter? And then I'm like, oh, I guess it matters. But luckily for me, height is the one thing that I've never really been that insecure about. Like, it's been a passing thought, like, oh, that could be better. But luckily for me, that's the thing, because the height is one thing you can't do anything about. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can get surgery, but I'm never going to fucking get surgery for that shit.
Well, what do you think is the like main insecurity for guys? It's probably height. What do you think the main insecurity for girls is?
Okay. So I never had this before, but now it's that I'm too skinny. Cause like I
definitely body image.
I never had that. Like I always just like liked being skinny. Cause I just am skinny. It's genetics. I've always been like skinny.
Right.
But people would literally comment and be like, ew, like you're really into pancakes, or like she's literally skin and bones. Like just like all this stuff, just commenting about how horrible my body is and how basically like acting like it makes me less of a person. And I just would read those and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. So now you're like insecure about being
and
skinny.
people like are like, you don't eat, or like all this stuff. I'm like, I eat. Like,
yeah, no, she eats. She eats.
Yeah. And like, or say like I'm underweight. Like I'm at a perfectly healthy weight for my height. But yeah.
So you'd say
it's probably because
I'd say it goes both ways though for girls, like skinny and being overweight.
100%. Yeah. I mean, I'd say there's
I
more.
feel like it's less overweight now.
Yeah, because there's
actually, because the body.
I disagree. I think that people, especially girls, have become more successful and effective at suppressing feelings of insecurity over their weight, because there's been such a societal push towards body positivity. But at the end of the day, it's always going to be there deep down, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. This is my favorite way of putting it. If you're a girl and you're dating some guy and he goes and cheats on you with a thin, wide-hipped, nice boobs, nice ass supermodel,
rocket,
you are going to be jealous as fuck physically of her. If he goes and cheats with a fat girl, you're going to be jealous in the sense that your boyfriend cheated, but you're going to be like, even if you're the body positive type, you're going to be like, that's definitely a downgrade, you know?
Yeah.
And the fact that
nothing wrong with fat girls though, you know, there's some rocket fat girls, dude. I mean, Ashley Graham, yo, shout out Ashley Graham. You guys go look her up on Instagram. Do you know who Ashley Graham is?
No.
Saying rocket,
but there's ideal proportions for a reason. Yeah. And all you have to do is go look at old Greek sculptures of men and women, and you'll get roughly what the ideal man and woman should look like. And these are not societally based. I mean, there's some things. Have you guys ever heard of, back in the day, Chinese women used to wrap their feet really tight? And that's definitely society based.
Wait, for what?
Because it was
like they want small feet.
They wanted small feet, but like weirdly small.
Wouldn't they like crunch the feet?
Tiny feet. Yeah, they'd crunch the feet and they'd bind them tight and keep them like that, so the foot bones would get all fucked up. It was really gross.
I watched like a documentary on that in school. Disgusting.
I think I have seen that.
So there's definitely biological attractiveness, then there's societal attractiveness, and you know, there's certain things, like I guess maybe you could say earrings are more societally attractive,
or like hair length, something like that. Right,
sure. But in terms of how your body is shaped, that is biologically attractive. And for example, the reason guys like wide hips it doesn't have to be super wide. I like kind of in between, but the reason guys generally prefer wider hips is because women that have wide hips generally are better at like giving birth properly, you know? And anytime there's a biological root to anything attractiveness based, you can't just beat it out of people. They're always going to know, even if they're going to be good little servants and say body positivity and being fat is okay. At the end of the day, they know it's not attractive. It's simply not.
Yeah, but it's
all on preference.
As long as you're comfortable in your own body, really doesn't matter. But it's like also you should try to make an effort to be like healthier than you are, whether or not you're obese and be a little less obese, or like you're super, super skinny and then be like a little less skinny, you know?
Right. Well, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be confident in your own skin. I think that's fine. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying don't act like other people should find you attractive for it.
Yes, exactly. Or like shaming, you know, like I'm not shaming you if I don't want to fuck you if I don't want to get with you because
you're fat,
or you're super skinny. That's not my fault. Yeah, that's not my fault. That's just not what that's.
It's just biology, bro. Dude.
It's like if I don't want to fuck this dude, then it's like that's my preference, man.
Yeah. Well, that's funny. Have you guys heard of this new super straight thing? It's kind of like meme,
super straight. Yeah.
Well, because of all like the transgender.
Have you seen it on TikTok?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
So all this like transgender activism recently has led to people going so far as to say if you're a straight guy like me or Sush, it is transphobic of you to not date a trans woman, which is someone who was a man and transitioned to a woman. So this group of people kind of used their own logic against them and made a new gender called super straight, where if you're a man, you're only attracted to biological women and not male to female transitioned.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, how do you get out of that if you're the gender, you know, if you're that type of person, the progressive type, you're kind of bound by your hands because it's like, well, you can't say that this gender's fake because then you're against, you know, this person's gender, but so you're kind of fucked.
It's literally like the attack helicopter meme. Yeah. You know, like the old attack helicopter meme? Right. It's literally like that, but actually them making progress.
Right.
And like, I don't know. I just think that like what do you think of, well, I mean, it's different from a guy's perspective, I would say, but what do you think of like, from a girl's perspective, body positivity?
Body positivity?
Yeah, like no fat shaming or like the whole movement, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But if
we talked about,
you are obviously like unhealthy and like you need help, then like there's a line in that. Because if you're gonna die because you're too skinny, or if you're gonna die because you're too fat, obviously like.
Yeah, but we did talk. Okay, we did talk about what's her name? Sabrina May.
Who's that?
She's like that TikToker. You'd know if I pulled it up. So I think her name is Serena May. Selena.
Selena?
The TikToker.
Oh.
So we talked about.
No.
Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's the Sienna May. So it's the TikToker who's like, she's a little bit, she's a little bit chunky, but I wouldn't say
she's like normal though.
Yeah,
I'd say.
that's the thing is like she's with this whole like, you guys can go look her up on TikTok. Her whole thing is body positivity, right? Yeah. And it's like I almost think that she is doing worse for that movement because the thing is she's not really that overweight and she like looks good, and it's like if someone who looks worse than her.
I know it could also make someone feel bad.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, she's so much thinner than me. What like does that mean
is that
overweight?
Exactly.
Like,
I think she's doing less of she's going backwards.
I agree, and I don't, because I see your comments and everyone's like, you've helped me so much. Oh my god.
Yeah. Or like I've had 3 meals today.
Yeah, like people are like, you helped me eat today or whatever. Like
Which that is another topic that we could talk about. It's like that whole I see those comments all the time where it's like, thank you, you've helped me eat like 3 meals. I don't understand. Is that like
okay? Like, what do you mean? Like you don't understand?
Like they're just like anorexic?
Yeah, like girls will like
Well, you don't even eat 3 meals sometimes.
Yeah, but that's just because like
it's not like the quantity of food.
Yeah,
it's like calories.
Sometimes my appetite is like fucked, but
she's also smaller, so she's not gonna eat.
Yeah.
She's not gonna eat as much.
But sometimes I could literally. It depends. Like sometimes I could literally eat so much and not get full, and then there's some days where I'm like I literally have no appetite. But back on that topic, yeah, it's like girls with eating disorders. Like they struggle to eat because they're scared if they eat like 3 meals in a day or even 1 meal in a day, they're gonna gain fat or gain weight.
Yeah, we were talking about there's like this thing on TikTok sometimes I'll see is like, hey, you've helped me eat 3 meals today. Where I'm looking at that and I'm like, holy shit, like these people are really fucked.
Yeah.
Like really fucked if you can't bring yourself to eat. You know, if you have to physically sit down and like eat and force yourself to eat 3 meals. I mean, I can't imagine that because I
mean, you see me though, and I'm not anorexic, but I just naturally, I guess, small stomach or low appetite or something. But I struggle as someone who's trying to put on weight. I struggle.
That's your issue right now too.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to, get big.
And since I'm so skinny and I have such a fast metabolism, I've just like, I'm going to just say I've never been more than 115 pounds.
What do you weigh right now, if you don't mind me asking? 105, right?
No. I think I weigh like 110 right now.
Okay.
But that's me weighing myself at night, so it's not too accurate.
I do that shit.
Yeah.
Dude, people that are trying to put on weight, people that are
You
trying
weigh
to lose
yourself with a
weight always
jacket.
weigh themselves in the morning naked, after they poop, after they pee.
I
Yeah,
weigh myself
that's me, that's
right
me,
in the
bro.
morning naked.
That's me, naked, after
you-
poop,
Yeah.
pee, wipe,
But
everything.
With people that are trying to put on weight, I'll go weigh myself and I'll be like, I'm holding in a poop so that I can weigh myself.
You'll drink
and I'll weigh more.
16 ounces of water so you can
That
have an
was
extra
once.
pound.
That was once because I think I
Like
was.
you wanted to hit you wanted to see 200 on the scale.
I wanted to see 200 on the scale, and I was in a hoodie.
You were
too.
wearing you were wearing
Yeah.
So I
that
didn't.
shit.
But I just didn't care. I was like, you know what?
Toss
And
it up on the
it
story.
was like
200 pounds.
199.8 or something, and I'm like, I'm just gonna drink water.
Yeah.
And it went up.
Quick 200 pounds.
But I think part of the reason you were saying before that, like, recently the whole skinny thing has become more of this insecurity is because classically, just with like fashion magazines and stuff like that, being skinny was something you strive for. And that's why
Yeah.
a lot of girls nowadays have anorexia or something, is because they've had this beauty standard beaten into their head.
And that was me in high school. Like I just wanted to be like super skinny. Like and
Well, you were a dancer, right?
yeah, oh my god, it was bad because I was a dancer. Like I think I actually had some like mental issues there because I was just constantly like looking in a mirror and comparing myself to like the girls around me, and I constantly was thinking like, oh, my one huge insecurity was my thighs are too big. That's literally insane. Like my thighs were such a normal size, and like that was my biggest insecurity. I always wanted to lose weight in my legs.
I can't imagine that in high school because I mean your
was-
thighs now
yeah.
like probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying you're small, but like they're not
No,
like.
yeah, I'm
I can
small.
I can imagine
They were
them in high
much
school.
smaller. Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
No, yeah, insane.
But it's weird to me just
Body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
on the topic of the way society is like kind of beaten in with fashion and all this stuff, kind of this warped ideal female body has been like a really skinny one. And it's funny to me that that's the way that things worked out, because you would think that in these, point the mic more like at you. Yeah. You'd think that in these industries where it's purely based on superficial value, just how the way people look, you'd think that they would actually go for girls that have a little bit of muscle on them, because that is kind of the
That's kind of what I'm into.
universally accepted ideal female physique is a girl that is like somewhat strong and has like a little bit of muscle on her. Is not jacked, but is like fit, right? And skinny is not fit. Fit is fit.
Yeah.
And when a girl looks fit, you'd think that's what people would want as their supermodels.
Also, fat is not fit.
Fat is not fit.
Fat is not fit.
Skinny's not fit. Fat is not fit.
Fit is fit.
Fit is fit.
Yeah. So it's just, but I mean, obviously transitioning from that where you're worried about not being skinny enough, and then you come into the fitness industry and you're surrounded by all these girls that have quads that are bigger than mine, and all of a sudden you're like, oh fuck, I'm way too skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you've had this
I
paradigm
just
shift.
like, yeah, I never had that insecurity before, and now I'm like, oh my god, I have no ass and need to gain an ass.
Yeah,
'cause
it's
that's
totally
all-
roles reversed.
yeah, I
like,
totally switched over because I saw people's comments and stuff. I'm like, oh, maybe I do need to fix myself, but in reality, it's like,
I mean, the most,
Well, are you
I mean,
really trying to go
obviously-
for like the bikini? Like, are you trying to like compete in
It's
bodybuilding?
like-
Maybe something like that.
no, but
just get fit.
yeah,
Just put on a little bit of
exactly. You know, I
size.
would like to have a little bit of a shape,
Right.
which I think I do, but
yeah, you
it's
do.
nothing crazy. But I like,
And you also do have crazy ab genetics as well.
yeah, that's one thing.
That's-
She's one of the only
that's a
girls I
dub.
know who has like just resting abs like all year round.
Yeah, that's a dub. Because you can't really do anything about that.
Yeah.
With your fat placement, that's just
Yeah, you're fat.
Yeah.
it's purely genetics.
Yep.
But
Shout out to your parents.
Thanks, mom and dad.
so just going to segue right into it because this is something that we wanted to cover. With this new era of, and something that I just quickly wanted to jump back to before because this has been on my mind, haven't really been able to say it, but the whole thing you were saying about guys earlier on, you were saying guys would call you simp for talking about her. That leads back to the thing I was saying about guys just being inexperienced, and they learn everything they know about girls through memes, and they see the simp meme. No, I'm serious.
You guys should come to this podcast instead to learn about girls.
Right, and they see the simp meme, and they see a bunch of other kids in the comments that are 14 to 16, all commenting, "Oh, simp, funny simp," and the memes are funny, but you have to remember they're memes, they're jokes, and like you do want to have a certain amount of simp. You don't just want to be that closed off, cold asshole to girls because long term, it's just not a good solution. So whenever a guy comments simp, especially when I'm like with Hannah and I'm like, dude, that's my girlfriend. What the fuck do you expect?
Big simp.
Yeah.
But I think half the time it's like it's probably a joke half the time, but I know it's not even the people commenting that, it's people seeing that. So like, they're like, oh, if this guy thinks James is being a simp here, then he must be being a simp here. Mm-hmm. So not necessarily the commenter.
There's some guys that are serious for sure.
Yeah.
They're like, bro, why are you simping over this girl so hard? I'm like, I'm dating her, by the way.
Yeah.
But
pisses me off, simp, that stupid word.
So in this era of, calling a girl pretty means you're a simp, and if a girl is attractive, then you got to insult her because you're insecure. Yeah. And just the whole modern era where, especially with COVID, I feel really bad for the kids that have not had their social aspect fulfilled because of COVID, but that's a whole different story. Guys nowadays, the way that they get women is definitely not the same as in like the 50s or 60s, where you had to have balls and you usually had a male mentor, whether that was your dad or an older brother or an older friend, that would say, listen, man, you're going to get rejected. You just got to go up to her. You got to talk to her. Mm-hmm. Worst that she can say is no, right? That used to be the way that guys went about it.
That still stays true, though, is the worst that you can get is a no. Whether it's in person, DM, anything. The worst you're going to get is 100%. A no.
But what I'm saying is, like, that's, that used to be explained to guys. Mm-hmm. And now and I almost feel bad for recommending this to you because you were like, oh, bro, this was back when you only had one body and you kind of felt like
fuck it, Tinder mode.
Your swoosh persona wasn't really aligning with your lack of experience. And you're like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to do this. And I'm like, bro, Tinder, easiest way. And it is the easiest way, but I almost shouldn't have said that because
you created a monster, bro.
There's some guys that they got their Tinder game down to a science, and then you meet up with them, and it's just like, this guy's a fucking brick.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to talk to a girl.
That's not me, though, guys. Come on.
No, it's not. It's not. But it's just in this digital era, no amount of digitization can ever replace human interaction. So as good as you can get at DMing a girl or being on Tinder or whatever, you still need that in-person interaction. And it's becoming a rare breed for guys to cold approach a girl and strike up conversation and be rejected half the time or 75% of the time.
Have you even ever been cold approached?
Like where?
Oh, I'm sure.
Anywhere.
Gym, yeah.
Yeah.
You've definitely been cold approached.
Do you find a cold approach more, when you have a guy cold approach you, is that better than a guy DMing you?
It really depends on the person.
If he's ugly as fuck?
Well, I'm not going to put it that way, but if you're not my type and you come up to me and you're like, yo, what's your number? I'm not going to be like, oh, here.
Right.
But I'm saying in general, let's say you had a dude who you're somewhat attracted to. Let's say he's an 8. And in your two hypothetical scenarios, he either DMs you with some game or he cold approaches you with some game. Which one turns you on more? Which one would you rather have? Which one is more masculine?
Oh, the approach.
Yeah,
in person.
Of course it's going to be the cold approach.
So which one do you prefer then?
Yeah, I guess the cold approach in person.
But I don't want to talk you into that. I want to hear your actual opinion.
It's just so different
it's
now.
situational.
And like, because like, most guys that like I start talking to, like, they slide into the DMs. It's just
right.
like,
You can't really ask her though, because
Yeah.
now she's like she's famous. Okay, so she has clout. So it's like the only like I would be if I was I don't know, if I was like a normal guy, you know, just a college guy, and I saw her and I knew that she was on Instagram, I would not go up to her because I'd be like, she has basketball players, she has verified guys in her DMs, she's got she's got people in her DMs. So it's like she can just go on her DM. Why would she fuck with like some random guy?
I know, and that's also what scares me is like guys think that like, because people say it, they're like, oh, like I don't have an Instagram following, so you're not gonna give me a chance. I'm like, I don't care if you have an Instagram
that shit
following
does
or
not
not.
matter.
It does
Yeah,
not
it doesn't
matter
matter
or
at
make
all.
you less of a person or anything. Like,
The amount of people that I've seen where it's some girl that's like an 8 or a 9 or even a 10, and she's booed up with some guy who's like a solid 6. And that just goes to show, like, you can do all this male improvement stuff. You can make yourself look great. You can do the whole penis stretcher fucking
Smell
routine,
good,
smell good. You
dripped
can do
out, making a lot of money.
everything. You can do everything, but you're going to get lapped by the dude with a neck beard that has the confidence that radiates, that can go up to a girl and strike up conversation because he's done it a million times. And in my opinion, I think girls value that a lot more than some guy who's dripped out in Louis V but has no game and just
Yeah.
can't talk.
yeah.
You know, like you can build up that aspect, and that's what's so alluring about it, is that it's so much less embarrassing and easier to just make a lot of money and go to the gym and build yourself up physically and status wise. It's so much easier to do that, at least in your own head, than it is to get good at talking to girls. But once you do both, you actually realize getting good at talking to girls is actually much easier. It's just before you did it, you thought it was going to be impossible.
I feel like I was one of the guys who, so I would like I was like a good guy on Snap or like on text, dude. I would just be like Rico Suave, okay? I'm pulling rockets. But then in person, it's like this was probably like high school and early college. In person, I was just like huge pussy, like no confidence or whatever, and I would have to literally like drink and like have an alcohol buzz to go talk to these girls.
100%.
Like, and honestly, that still stays
the same way.
Yeah, and then honestly, still stays true up until probably like a couple of months ago. Like,
and then once you just do it,
yeah,
you're
like I had like I would have a
bad.
girl over, and before she came, I'd be drinking White Claws and shit,
Yeah.
like so I can get
I remember
comfortable.
that,
Yeah, dude,
You
I
did-
literally like James had to go to the gas station and like give me White Claws.
This is all
that's not true.
hypothetical.
Yeah, this is
like
that
we didn't
didn't-
actually
that
do
didn't
that.
happen.
But in this story that we're talking about, which would have been funny if it happened,
Mm-hmm.
I would have gone to the gas station and picked up White Claws.
And condoms.
So this tall Asian guy that I'm living with, could shotgun about 5 of them
Yeah,
beforehand.
because I'd never met this girl.
Yeah.
Or never
Yeah.
met this girl, and like now that I don't need that obviously anymore, because I've like gained my own confidence and like not hiding behind the alcohol.
Right.
Which honestly, it sounds like a fucking huge pussy. Honestly, now that I'm saying it out
The
loud.
whole alcohol thing.
Yeah, the whole like needing alcohol to go talk to a girl. Like if that's you,
Yeah.
bro, you need to reevaluate yourself. I'm not
I
saying
agree.
drinking to talk to girls, like, because drinking is social, okay, for sure. But you shouldn't rely on it. Like for me, I was literally relying on it for me to like hook up with this girl and be confident in myself. Like not being sober was one of the ways that I was gonna do it.
Yeah.
So
And I mean, I definitely agree that you shouldn't do that, but I also think like don't beat yourself up.
if you do that,
And if you need to have a couple beers before you go talk to that girl in the bar, you are still lapping everybody that sits at home and doesn't even try. So just try to work on it at that point. It's like, okay, you've already figured out that you can talk to girls. Now,
if you can do it
push
not
yourself
sober,
out of the
right.
comfort range a little bit and maybe try to do it after only 1 beer. And then next time, maybe try to do it sober when
Yeah.
you first get to the bar.
that's actually a really good
You know?
way of putting it.
So you just gotta, it's slowly like, just incrementally try to put yourself out there and not rely on other stuff. But, and Derek's talked about this, I think a lot of those people that were kind of pussy in high school, they almost have a point to prove now, where it's like, because high school is a big part of life, and it's kind of like, it doesn't define you at all. And I've definitely transformed myself since high school in a big way, but it does kind of put you in your place to some degree. And if you have had this idea of yourself that I'm not good at talking to girls and I have no game and all this kind of stuff, that's going to follow you once you're out of high school. And once you start talking to girls, you're going to have a point to prove. Like, oh, I'm going to talk to so many fucking girls now.
Bro, you're like kind of calling me out right now.
But even
no, because I was saying, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's the way it is.
Even as a girl, though, like I kind of had that because I felt like in high school, I was like super innocent. I didn't really go out much. I feel like I didn't experience enough. So like once I went to college, like I felt like I had a point to prove and I had to like, catch up in a way to everyone else when I didn't. It didn't matter.
Yeah, there's no point.
Yeah.
So
that just goes in like the social life of like school and college and high school. It's like, oh, who fucks most, who parties the most.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that shit means nothing, dude.
It literally does.
And I know a lot of you guys are listening in high school, bro. Like I'm telling you, that shit literally means nothing. And same with college.
It means nothing.
It's how you own it. If you're in high school and you have no bodies or you have one body, whether or not people are going to care or think differently of you depends on whether you're a scaredy cat about it and you can't talk about it and you can't address it, or if you allow yourself to joke about yourself.
Yeah.
And own it in a confident way.
That's that big dick energy.
Yeah, exactly. And people are going to respect that. I would respect that. When someone comes forward with their insecurities and I don't know them that well and they joke about it in a confident way, I'm like, this guy knows who he is.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's like if you're worried about maybe getting like bullied or some shit because like your body count is not, let's say you're a virgin in high school and a guy's going to talk shit about your body count, like that is literally the corniest thing to do. And honestly, if you're talking shit about someone's body count like that, you're probably insecure about your own body count where it's like maybe yours is like 2 and you low key think that's low. So you're going to go to a guy who has 1 or 0.
Right.
And you're going to talk shit to him because you're like on a pedestal.
Or even if yours is 5 or 10, if you're going to go talk shit to the guy that hasn't hooked up with anyone or maybe only hooked up with one girl, it's because he's got something about him that is saucy that you don't have.
Yeah.
He's got the sauce in some sort of way that you don't have. So you're going to go say, oh, fuck you because I got you beaten this way. Yeah. And it's literally just a way of you saying,
if I had what you had,
you got me beat here, but I got you beat with the girls.
And it's almost like they'd be mad. They'd be mad because you have this characteristic that they don't. Mm-hmm. And it's like you're not even using it to your full potential. Like, fuck you. Like, you're this and that. Like, you're like, bro, in high school, because I had one body, I had guys coming up to me like, bro, you're 6'3", like pretty handsome guy, and your body count is X, or it was 0 when I was in high school. Sorry. It was like, you're 6'3", how are you a virgin, bro? And then they would clown me a little bit. And I'm like, bro, I don't know. Like, fucking relax, dog. It's not that big of a deal, you know?
Yeah. Why do you care about another guy that much?
Yeah. So it's like, oh, if I was 6'3", dude, I'd have like X amount of body, 10 bodies, dude.
Yeah. I do think, though, because I was saying before, the neck beard is going to lap you. You know, if all you focus on is your status and your money and all this kind of stuff, the neck beard with confidence is going to lap you. But that's not to discount self-improvement. And I think that if you have no confidence and you want to start talking to girls, the best first step is to make yourself a better man. And that doesn't just mean physically, it also means status-wise, but easiest first step, get in the gym, make yourself look good naked.
You don't even have to get in the gym, bro. Honestly, you guys probably just need to lose a couple of pounds, dude.
Lose some weight, or if you're, skinny, get in the gym, put on a little bit of muscle. You don't have to get fucking jacked. Just look good and try to make some money, or in other ways, just upgrade your status, because you're still lacking in the confidence department. You're still lacking in the talking to girls department, but once you've leveled yourself up a little bit, you feel like more of a man, you got more pep in your step. Yeah. When you do go approach a girl, you can remind yourself, hey, I'm not so bad.
Exactly. You walk around, you got the little shoulders back.
Yeah, you got some delt mass. You're like,
chest
pretty
is
good.
up. You're walking around with your chin up a little bit.
Right. So I do think that if you're trying to get girls and you got nothing going for you in the confidence department or in the status/physical department, I actually think a better first step is to focus on the status and physical department, because you're going to get rejected probably much less.
Yeah.
If you look good and, you know, you got a name for yourself.
Yeah, you don't have to be, I mean, like, okay, yeah, you're good looking and all, and then even if you're not confident, but you're good looking, you're big, whatever, you'll probably end up like 1 out of 10.
Literally, yeah.
Like you'll be like,
especially
or
on
what
Tinder.
do you think? Well, because we have Noelle here. What do
You're
you
saying that the attractive guy with not really any confidence is gonna do better?
I'm not
No,
saying
no,
he's
no,
gonna
no,
do better.
it's
He's
not
gonna at
gonna
least
do
come
better.
out.
No.
He's gonna at least come out victorious, like 1 or 2.
Okay,
We're
out of
just
'cause
saying-
10 or
It's just
20.
like confidence is like a
What do you?
huge
What's
thing.
the hottest? Like, what's the fucking top? When you want a guy, what is the top thing?
Personality wise?
Anything. Physical,
big one, bro.
personality.
Okay.
Actually, let's do physical first. Let's do
Okay.
physical first, and then we'll do personality.
Physical. I always say
For,
this. I like,
obviously, this is you personal.
yeah, personally, I like a guy with muscle. It's just,
Okay.
I've always been into guys with
Can we get in more of that? Like, what muscle?
biceps, but you have to have legs as well. If you have a huge upper body
Right.
and like 0 legs, no.
That's probably why she was into me, because biceps are like my strongest body part.
But
Nah, your quads are, bro. Biceps are second.
Well,
your
yeah,
teardrop
my
is
teardrop
strongest
for
for
sure.
sure.
But no girl's gonna be like, damn, his teardrop is so
I don't
sexy.
even know what that is.
Exactly.
If a girl did say that to me, that would be a
Yeah,
big
I'm
turn
getting down on
'cause I'd
one
be
knee.
like, oh, you know what you're talking about.
I'm getting down on one knee and I'm like my teardrop. I'm doing lunges.
Wait, what
like
are
I'm doing lunges while I'm proposing and shit.
okay, but I'm going to slap the table. Confidence and sense of humor is also like if you don't get my sense of humor, it's not gonna work out.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
So you want to have that. So first, physicals, biceps.
yeah. I mean, I guess.
Okay.
So just a fit guy. He doesn't have to be super jacked, but just a dude with muscle.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
With some nice biceps.
Yeah.
Decent legs. And so
But I'm
personality,
saying,
you're
like-
saying confidence or
Yeah.
sense of humor?
Because I'm just going to tell you a little story. I was in high school and there was this guy that I was always like, oh my God, he's gorgeous. I would love to date him, blah, blah, blah. Year or two later, we started like talking.
Mm-hmm.
But I quickly lost interest because he had no confidence and he was just like boring. But that just shows, I was like,
Oh, I
it
have
doesn't
a
matter
comment about this.
it doesn't matter how attractive you are. It's like personality and like,
Oh, I have multiple comments.
Bro,
about
if
Yeah.
you're
this.
that's being a simp right there. That's a fucking simp. You're a simpleton. If you lack confidence, bro, like
Oh my
if
God,
you
it was
if
so
you're walking around
awkward.
like a
Whoa,
you're walking
whoa,
around like
don't flame anybody now. Some
Wait.
people
I don't give a
need to work
fuck,
on
dude.
it.
I don't give a fuck. If you're
Can I
walking around,
literally-
you're king, bro. You're walking around your insane body and shit, but then you're like talking to a girl and you're like, oh,
listen, it was like a freshman year of high school and he would like be walking me to class and he'd be too scared to hug me.
Mm-hmm.
And then
that's crazy.
he would hug me and it was like,
Oh,
and I was like,
this-
I literally was like, what was that? And then like, he'd be like talking to, his friend would be talking to me and he was like, I was like, he literally did not even hug me. Like, it was so awkward. And then the next day he tried to hug me tighter and he was like, was that better? And I was like,
Oh
this
my
is not
God.
going to work. This is not going to
Imagine,
work.
like, imagine he's like whispering.
Imagine
like,
asking that.
Yeah, he's
Imagine
like,
asking,
is that
was the hug better today?
Guys, please do not do this.
I mean,
man.
we,
I beg you, bro.
we were like 14, but still.
yeah.
14.
Same. Well, no, I think what you're saying is you can't blame him at that age, but the
But-
fact still remains that
Yes.
that's
Don't
the
do
way it
that.
was.
It's just
Yeah.
it's a little example. It brought me back to a time.
I think
Wait, so just to clarify, so confidence is number 1,
Yeah.
and then personality wise, and then biceps or like having muscles is number 2. So does height matter?
Well,
she's just like, please.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm-
Well, I think I already know that.
I'm not gonna date a guy that's shorter than me.
Okay.
It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
I would not date a girl
and-
that's taller than me, bro.
Yeah, and the thing, well, especially for
I've
me,
been with
dude.
one that was
Yeah.
taller
Well, it's
than me,
almost bro.
and I was bro. Okay, funny
Yo,
story.
bro.
I was.
So how tall was she?
I think she was like 5'10",
Okay.
or maybe 5'9.5".
Big bitch.
But I think so. She wasn't like super tall because I remember I was taller than her when she was wearing flats and I was wearing whatever I was wearing. I guess Ultra Boosts.
Not the 720s.
But then, no, I
720s, you would have had 1.5 inches on
Oh
her.
yeah, I would have been looking down at her
Yeah.
like this. But then after we got together, we obviously weren't wearing shoes and we were on even ground.
Yeah.
And oh, what a humbling fucking experience. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's like, here's eye level, and I was looking just a little bit up,
Dude,
and I'm
imagine-
thinking, fuck.
And
I wonder if she knew that.
I mean, I don't know if you're like, you guys were what, like in bed or hooking up or what? Standing straight up?
Standing straight up. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I wasn't. We weren't in bed, and I was looking down at our feet.
Yeah,
and
because
making
in
the
bed
depth
you
change.
could low key like kind of manipulate your way to be taller than you are.
Well, also, if you're in bed,
Height
she's
doesn't-
not going to be, doing a mental calculation of your body height.
Yeah,
being
she's
like,
okay,
oh,
if his
fuck, this guy's
head's
shorter than me.
12 inches right here, then he's fucking 5'9".
Yeah, it pulls out the protractors,
Yeah.
doing measurements on me. Nah, this isn't going to work. But, obviously after, when you stand up, and we're just chatting, go to get dressed, stand up. Ah, there it is.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine. I mean, I'm tall. I don't know if I said.
We did get together one more time after that, I will say. So I guess you didn't care too much.
Yeah, that's a W, dude. So I, if there were a girl that was like 6'4", that would almost like no dating someone taller than you.
Mm-hmm.
I think only stays true for like someone who's, I would say like below 6 foot, because low key, because I'm not insecure about my height, and I could see how
Right.
someone who's like 5'5" is.
Mm-hmm.
But low key, like if my girl was like 6'4", that'd be like insane, because like that would just like look so sick.
That's like a 1 in a
Oh, you
million
would
girl
like
right there
that.
for height. But
Right, yeah. I'm not saying I would like that, but I wouldn't be against it. Like, I'm not going to be like, I would never date a girl not taller than
I
me.
just don't,
Or taller than me, sorry.
I'm not insecure about height in that sense, except for if I have to look up at a girl, I'd hook up with her, but I wouldn't date her.
Right.
Because,
Yeah.
and I think that you would agree, if you
Looking
managed to
up
find
the
the
physical
unicorn
act.
6'4" girl, you'd be like, she was really beautiful, but I can't deal with the fucking back head angle, man.
Yeah.
You know?
It's almost like the whole thing of like driving in the passenger seat with a girl.
And
Kinda-
she's got her hand on your
Kind of
leg.
the same thing, dude. Because like I've been in the passenger seat with a girl and it just sucks. I
Yeah.
feel like a fucking. I'd rather sit in the back and like be an Uber, you know? Like I'd rather have people be like, "Oh, he's just taking an Uber," or like
Yeah.
me and the passenger. It's like,
Yeah. But just back to what you were saying before. The way that I physically view a girl is so dependent on her personality that a girl will, and I'm sure this is true, the vice versa, like with the girl to a guy, but if I get to know a girl and she's a bitch, it doesn't matter how hot I thought she was before, I will literally find her less physically attractive. And I don't know if that's just
that might be just a you thing.
really.
Cause, well, I like bitches. Like if you're a bitch, if you're just a mean girl, like with the attitude, I low key like that. But it could be that's weird because like her personality, low key, like obviously doesn't affect her image at all.
To me, it
like
does.
No,
To
that's
me,
what
it
I'm saying.
does.
It's
It does.
weird. It's weird
Yeah.
how your mind kind of changes the way that you look at her just because of her, like her being a bitch.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know if we
Sharp
can say-
word there,
I
huh?
said the C word. We're gonna
Jeez.
bleep that out because we can't
We're
say that
not
on
in
YouTube.
the UK.
Yeah,
Yeah, they toss that around in the UK.
the C word.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
But there's this psychologist called Carl Jung that came up with the idea of Anima and Animus, and this is basically, you guys know what this is, you just haven't heard the terms. It's where you meet someone of the opposite sex and your brain forms the ideal man or the ideal woman in your head before you really get to know them. So let's say you meet David Lade, right? That's just the first hot guy I think of. And you don't know him at all. Your brain is naturally going to make all of these perfect assumptions about him, like, oh, he can cook well, and like he can do magic, even though he actually can do magic, and he can play the guitar, and he can do this, and he can do that, and he'd pick me up and spin me around, and it's like all these, your brain kind of fills in the gaps. Or when you're a guy and you meet a girl and you don't really get to know her at all, but you're just super physically attracted to her.
I bet she cooks, she cleans.
Or
she's
just
a good
like
driver.
thinking about like all the things that you love in a girl. Let's say you love a girl that's confident, or you love a girl that's sweet. oh, I'm sure she's so confident. I'm sure she carries herself with such esteem and she's super sweet. And then you get to know her, and this is why so often you hear like, oh, this person is not who I thought they were. And it's like, well, who said they were that person to begin with? You just invented that in your brain. So with this hot guy that you knew that you wanted, obviously you'd thought about just, you know, what going on a date with him might be like, or just what being with him might be like. You just kind of naturally fantasize, and your brain's obviously not going to be like, oh, I bet he's not going to be able to hug me, and I bet he's going to be so unconfident. No, it's going to be like, oh, he looks this physically perfect. I bet all of his personality attributes are going to reflect that.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's going to be Superman, and he's going to take care of all my wants and needs. And then you get to know him, and you get hit with the dose of reality, and you're like, oh, he doesn't know how to hug,
shit.
you know? But everyone's going to be like that.
But low-key, it could go the other way. Like a guy who's really not that attractive, but then he's confident.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's some diamonds in the rough, there's some diamonds in the rough, right?
100%. And yeah, I mean, I'd say the more common one is you create the God image of somebody in your head, and then you realize, nah, they're not that. But less often, there's that person that you might not even give the time of day, and then you talk to them, and all of a sudden you're attracted to them, and like physically attracted to them. At least in my case, there's some girls that I didn't find attractive before, but then I got to know them, and I'm like, I want to have intercourse.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Have you ever met anyone like that?
Yeah, plenty of times, honestly. Because it's like, once you get to know someone and like you see that they're like confident, know how to have a conversation, and they're funny, it's like you see, you know, above like looks and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looks is just almost the first impression.
To me, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you
looks
kind of
what makes you.
Yeah,
what's
exactly.
the phrase? Looks what makes you attracted. Looks or what?
I don't know.
Anyway, the thing is, I think for me, what it is that when you love somebody, you start to find all their imperfections nice, right, and attractive. So the same goes for a girl's personality. When a girl has a really good personality, it makes me more likely to find her imperfections really aesthetically pleasing. That's why I think a girl literally, not figuratively, but literally turns me on physically more when I know her and I know that she's got a really good personality that clicks with me well, because all the imperfections that if I didn't know her, I'd kind of think, oh, that's an imperfection that I don't like. All of a sudden, it's like, you know, I really appreciate that part of her face, or like, you know? So I think that's why with me, I actually physically think the girl's more attractive.
Especially when they're self-aware of it.
Yeah.
When they're self-aware of, like, I don't know, maybe they have, I don't know.
Fucked up nose.
Yeah, they got a fucked up nose, or they got like fucked up mouth or some shit. It's like, if you're self-aware about it, that like makes, if you're confident, you know, and that goes back to the confidence thing, is like you're confident in your own skin, and it's like, that's hot. That's why some like, dude, low-key, like, some like chunky girls are kind of hot.
Yeah, no, I definitely think when I was saying fat earlier, that was definitely more of a blanket statement.
No, I know,
like,
I know.
It generally is obviously less attractive to be fat, but there are some girls where
Confident as fuck. It's hot.
I mean, yeah.
Confidence is hot at
When
the
you
end of
get
the
to a
day.
certain
Even Noelle
level-
said it. Even
Yeah.
Noelle said it.
It's honestly the biggest thing. It is.
I think it's the same for a girl. And what's funny
Yeah.
is I think that, well, I don't know if I'd say confidence per se is the most attractive, but it's up there. Because
For
it's more
girls-
Yeah.
like it's more important for girls.
Right.
But at least for me, it's really important for me too. Looking for a girl.
Yeah, I would say confidence or like attitude. Like, know your worth, you know? Definitely know your worth.
Yeah. So
I don't know. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Like I feel like
girls knowing their worth.
Yeah, I like that's probably why I haven't had a relationship yet, because guys can tell how insecure I am. And it's like, well, not fully, but that's also like
Well, you don't
I
come
think-
off as insecure.
I think, yeah, you really
I don't.
But I also think that there's another thing, which is that okay. Girls, at least on Tinder, there's a study done. Sorry, I'm pulling up the science, but girls tend to overvalue their own attractiveness, and they only go for guys that are slightly more attractive than them, versus guys spread their net more widely and, you know, they're willing to go
down
lower. But often guys are intimidated. No, it's true. Guys are less they're less picky with that because they're just horny.
Yeah.
Versus girls are, at least when looking for a partner, which also translates to wanting to hook up with the guy, they want a guy that is usually higher status than they are and slightly more attractive. Even though girls will always say, oh, I want to be the hot one. It's not true. They actually overvalue their own. They want to date the hot guy.
You agree with this? Because you were at first you were kind of like, I mean, I know this is a science, but like your opinion.
Yeah, I don't. It's because I guess at first, like, you go for looks, but I find myself. I'm not trying to be like, what's the word, shallow when I say this.
No, go for it.
Make sure you're talking to the mic.
Like I find myself talking to like 7, 6 out of 10, like, you know what I mean?
Right, but that's also because confidence plays a huge role.
Yes,
so I'm not saying it's the end all be all.
You mean at first?
Wait,
just
what are we rating? What are we rating you at? What would you consider yourself?
I am staying out of this one.
Yeah, James has a girlfriend, so.
What would I consider myself?
I would consider, like, for me, I would say, like, I'm gonna do myself just so it's not only you. I would say I'm probably like a 7, but my height though, I don't know.
7.5.
Okay.
Yeah, 7.5 or 8.
I don't know,
But
because I think no homo.
But I
think
pull
with,
9s
I
and
think
10s.
with clear skin,
Yeah.
I think that you're 8 or above.
Oh yeah, 100% with clear skin, dude. I'm a 10. I'm a menace with clear skin, guys. Guys, when I had clear skin before I was on gear, dude. Oh my god, dude. I was a menace to society.
And cut.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Hey, fuck you, bro. I'm bulking right now. What would you say?
I would probably say like an 8 out of 10.
Okay, I would say personally like 8.5 or 9.
That's rare.
Yeah. So yeah, actually not a 9, 8.5.
Wow.
That's better than that's still good though. That's fucking 3.5 above average.
I know how good that is because I'm a guy, and I know how rare 8.5 to 9 is.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
No, but I always hear you guys 10 out of 10, rocket.
But
bro,
that's like
bro,
if I
I'll
pull
call
up a
fucking
random
5.
girl,
I'll call her 5 out of 10. Bro, she rocket, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
she's
bro, look
rocket.
at that rocket over there. She's like,
like I could.
she's average.
Yeah, no, there's certain, like the difference from 6 to 6.5 is big. And the difference from 6.5 to 7 is big.
Yeah.
So if you keep going all the way up to 8.5,
But keep in mind,
that's big because you have to think 10
like
out
you
of
said,
10.
5 is average.
5 is average.
5 is average. And I
Exactly.
never looked at it like that until you told me, bro. Because
5 is
exactly,
average.
1 is, okay, there's probably 0 ones out there, honestly.
No, there's ones. There's just as few ones as there
Is
are
there,
9s.
Yeah, okay. That's, bro, this guy's a fucking
So if you think
genius,
about it, like,
bro.
a
This guy
7?
is so smart.
A 7 is kind of generous sometimes.
Oh, a 7
Yeah.
is hot. I'd hook up with a 7. 100%.
All right, I don't feel as bad.
Because a 9,
I said you were at 8.5. Why are you not happy with that?
I'd say like a 5 out of 10, that's like 50% of the population. Most people are
Yeah,
average, right?
yeah.
You got the bell curve.
It's average for a reason.
Yeah.
The top of the bell curve is a 5 because that's an average person. So if you look at a normal person that maybe works out or doesn't really work out and they just look normal. You
Yeah.
don't think that person's unattractive, but they're not attractive. They just
5.
look like a normal
Yeah.
person. That's a 5.
Oh.
Normal human being.
A
See, I used to
6?
do it like 7 was like normal.
No.
Yeah.
5's
No,
average.
dude.
That's
And
why.
yeah.
That's why I like.
That's why you were a little like,
Oh.
no. A
But
9,
then there's-
I think a 5 out of 10, that's like 50-50 top of the bell curve. So you have to think, here's the bell curve, here's 9, and then here's 10. And it's this little tiny sliver of people. I'd say 1 out of every 1,000 girls is a 9, and 1 out of, or maybe even
You have
high-
higher standards than me,
No,
bro.
because you have to think a 10. There's basically nobody more attractive than that. So that's like one. That's like there's like 3
yeah.
or 4 girls on the planet that are
But then
true
you can
10s,
go,
in my opinion.
But then you can go into the argument where it's like, are there 11s, bro? Because there's
No,
definitely
because
some
it's
11s.
a scale to 10.
Nah, but we've talked about this. There's like LA 10s.
I just think that means
It's
you.
geographic.
I think no. That's
Okay,
true, but
there are LA 10s, and then there's Houston
I think-
10s or something like that. No hate to Houston girls.
I think if you gotta say, okay, she's not really an 8. She's a Houston 8, right?
Okay.
So you
okay,
gotta-
okay. Then I'll say this. So I said you're 8.5, but you're an LA 8. LA 8,
That's a compliment. I know this guy.
or maybe LA 7.5.
I don't
Stop
think so.
going lower.
I don't think so. Yeah, what are you doing,
He's
bro?
going like 8, but then he's like, wow, like that's a compliment. He's like, okay, maybe like a 7.
No,
Chill.
but I
I know.
I don't look.
Kidding.
Listen, settle with your fucking answer.
Yeah, bro.
Okay. Don't go lower than 8.
Yeah, 8. LA 8.
But
LA 8.
an LA 8 is like a Houston 10, 100%.
Yeah, no.
So
okay,
I
yeah.
think
No,
when
that's a
I'm
good example.
but
When she's walking around Houston,
she's a 10.
She's a 10. Yeah,
Right.
she's definitely the prettiest girl walking around.
But
whether it be the gym or fucking Kroger.
the thing is, when I say, like, if I were to say, oh, she's a true 10, I guess, you know, because I can throw around 10, oh, she's a 10 out of 10, right? But if I say, no, this girl's a true 10, I'm talking about LA 10, which is like, you
Okay.
got like
One
a
in a million
handful of
genetics.
people on the
Wait,
planet.
LA, you
that
talking like supermodel type shit?
Yeah.
Like-
if a girl or guy's a 10, this is like some Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill is I think a true male 10.
Yeah. Or
I don't know who that is.
Carlton Loth.
Nah, I think Carlton Loth, I wouldn't put him at
Shout
top
out
10.
Carlton. Fucking
But
handsome.
Carlton is handsome.
Handsome guy, dude.
Yeah.
What would you rate me?
I don't want to do this.
Well, why? Because you rated yourself and like I rated you, so I think it's only fair. And then you did say, you know,
Okay, because now that we're putting it into perspective, like the 5 is like average.
Mm-hmm.
she's about to be like, see, she's a 9. Given the height.
You got to give him a
Given the height.
7.4 after what he did to you.
Yeah. I'd be content. I said I was a 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5.
LA
Okay.
7.5?
Normal.
Normal 7.5, just overall range.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm tall though, you know?
Yeah,
so,
no, yeah.
So like if you add in the height and shit.
Yeah, he's tall and he's tall and he's got muscle, so.
Yeah.
I
You
could
mean
go.
that?
I could go to you,
You mean
Yeah.
that?
bro. I could go to you and be like, "Sush, what are you gonna do? You're a single dad now," and you'd be like, "Yeah, man, but I'm tall, you know." I got that, bro.
Yeah. At the end of the day, dude, yeah, I'm fucked, but I'm tall.
At the end of the day.
6'5" in the maxes.
So you said, so going back to the original conversation that started this, or the original question was like, if you're let's say you're an 8 or you're an 8.5, like, would you be willing?
Oh man, I wasn't done with what I was saying.
Well, I was gonna say, but how low would you dip down on the scale? And obviously, we're not rating people.
A continuum of personality and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you have to take the sum total of personality.
It's just there's
with
so much that goes
attractiveness.
into it.
Yeah, and chemistry too, you know, because someone could have a great personality overall, but you have certain unique traits that doesn't click with this perfect person. So
I think Noelle and I, like, I think we had pretty good chemistry.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore, though. Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes, but that's also the whole anima thing that I was talking about before, where you see a girl that you're really attracted to, and your natural instinct is to ignore all of the aspects of her
Right.
that don't actually vibe with you because you're looking out just
I'm
biologically.
thinking what I would want her to,
Right.
you know.
And you're ignoring all those things.
Yeah.
And she's doing that to you
Same
too.
thing.
This happens all the time with like everyone that meets. You're going to ignore the negative aspects and you're going to hyper exaggerate the positive aspects to the point where this person becomes a perfect image of a man or a woman in your mind. And then you get to know them. And obviously that facade can only last so long. Eventually it's going to fade. And then the real question of whether or not you two can date is, do you still really like each other after the facade fades? You know? So with Hannah and I, for example, when I first started talking to her, and especially after I first met her, goddess, bro. I was just like,
You're
Aw.
fucking rocket. You were starstruck.
I mean, she still is. I'm
You're
not
in love
saying
with
she's
her.
not, but it was just like,
love you,
there was
Hannah.
nothing wrong with her. There's nothing she needed to work on. It was perfect. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. I was just like over the moon. And then I got to know her, and I was like, oh, okay, there's some things that I didn't notice that she's got to work on. And I'm thinking, well, it's probably things that I got to work on too. And like, she probably noticed that with me. Okay, this guy's still great, but like, you know, he's got to work on this and that. But
He's a little short.
the different,
Just joking.
fuck, I got the forearm cramp. The differentiating factor for us was that the anima projection faded away from me, and I was still like wow, the honeymoon phase is over, and I still am like crazy about this girl.
That's what it is. It's the honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. That's the normal person way of saying anima projection.
That's what we had. We were in the honeymoon phase.
I guess. I mean, it lasted like 2 days.
What, the honeymoon phase?
Yeah.
No, when he says
Just
honeymoon
make sure-
phase, he means
Oh.
even when talk close to the mic. Even when you first started talking,
Oh.
not like hadn't met, you're thinking
yeah, well,
like,
that's that.
oh, wow,
yeah.
like I love talk. Dude, this guy was, you were simping.
Dude,
'Cause
yeah, I would be
no,
in the bro.
he
We'd be in the
was.
kitchen,
He
crackhead.
No, I've
crackhead
never
hours.
seen Sush like that with anyone. Like
I can't even imagine him like that
in
right
bed. When he wakes up, he rolls over. Look, I'm exposing you, but it's cute as fuck, okay? You wake up, you roll over, you FaceTime.
Yeah.
You fucking FaceTime throughout the day. You go to sleep, you FaceTime.
She was
before you
she was
sleep.
making me fix my sleep schedule, bro. She was fucking making me fix my sleep schedule. Bro. I was fucking waking up at. I mean, it's fixed now, but I went from waking up to like 3 and then slowly like waking up at noon because she would be like FaceTime me at this time.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you didn't fix it once I got back. Because then he
Well,
realized,
yeah,
he's like,
because
I
you were
don't-
I had you
he's like-
bagged.
he's
I
like-
had you in the house. I had you
and
bagged.
then-
There's
and
no
then-
reason for me to wake up.
Then he realized, yeah, I don't need to impress her.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro.
I mean, it is kind of the same way with me and Hannah. There's certain things that it's like I'm just gonna let this one slide because I could work on it, but I mean, she
Yeah.
fucking loves me, so like, what's
Exactly.
the difference?
Yeah.
You know, but fuck, I don't know where I was going with this,
Yeah,
but
we had an hour and a half right now.
we are at an hour and a half, so we got to wrap this up soon.
Yeah.
Last question,
Feels like 45 minutes, honestly.
if you're comfortable with it.
Okay.
You don't have to get into gruesome detail or anything. You can just roughly sum it up.
It's the
What is
grand
your-
finale.
What is your worst or most embarrassing hookup story ever?
Yeah, James and I thought of this one last
Right.
night, and we were like, "Oh, we're gonna hit her with this. It's gonna be
Yeah.
freaking."
So I already told him this one.
Yeah, I know this one.
So, I was hanging out with this guy. We never. No, we did. We hung out once before, but like nothing happened. Like we were just chilling. But then the next time we had some chemistry going, and so obviously, no, this was this. I would say this is like the third time we hung out, and
I think it was third time you hung out, second time having sex.
no,
Oh, okay.
third time hanging out, first time,
Okay.
first time.
First time.
So yeah. So we're going for about a couple minutes. I don't even know. And we switch positions, and he's like, "Wait, are you bleeding, or are you on your period?" And I'm like,
Yeah. This is such. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah,
I will talk after.
honestly, it's a normal thing, but like it was so embarrassing, and I was like, because I knew I was about to get it, and I think that just like triggered it, and like
Yeah.
it was like, it was just so embarrassing because I was
Yeah.
like, he's never gonna look at me the same way again, and honestly,
Really?
he was like chill about it, like he was like, don't worry, like he's like, I'm mature, like
It happened.
It
yeah, it
doesn't
happens.
matter. Yeah.
Whatever he said. He was like, seriously, don't worry about it. But I could tell he was like, ew. But yeah, I got friend zoned after that. So
I think so. I do want to mention that that's actually happened to me. That's not my. I'm not gonna talk. Well, we can talk about my worst story, but that's actually a similar thing happened to me. Is like I was like, oh, are you a virgin? Because I figured she was, and she wasn't. She was just on her period, and that actually happens. It's happened to me 3 times now. So it honestly, I think it happens way more than
got bad
karma.
than people talk about it. I don't know if it's bad karma
but
or
everyone sees it differently. Like
I got bad blood, bro.
Some guys don't care. They're like, yeah, I don't care. Like they'll fuck on.
Dude, the guys
I do
that-
care a
the
little
guys
bit.
that
I
are
do care a little bit.
skeeved out about it, like just like, ew. Oh.
Well, like, cause
I do care, but-
I am grossed out about it. That's the thing. Like, I think it's so gross. So like when it happened to me, I was like,
I think what happens is like maybe they're close, and then when they're just you're having intercourse, like the act of having intercourse, it just triggers
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Whereas,
Yeah.
'cause I think that's what happens, and it's just like it is what it is. But I think that because honestly, I've never really thought about that until it happened to me. So I think it's a good way we bring it out to the light. Is like that shit's honestly pretty normal.
yeah.
Happened to me 3 times. So
I don't give a fuck
3
about
separate
that
girls.
for some reason. I mean, obviously, if I had to choose, if you gave me a button, period sex, no period sex, I'd probably choose no period sex. But like,
yeah,
It
The
doesn't matter
amount-
to you.
no, It just doesn't.
I think it's
'Cause
also because like you have a girlfriend.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying even with hookups.
Really?
I just was like, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
But the only negative is that she usually cares. And then that makes it worse because, it's a two-way street.
And she's like feeling all awkward, and then the energy is just off.
Exactly.
The vibe is off.
Exactly.
It was literally so awkward. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, he's like, yeah, okay. We just stopped, and then he was like, okay, bye. And I was like,
You got to wash the sheets.
like, bye.
It's a whole shit show.
I actually don't think it got all over his sheets.
Oh, that's good.
I think it was on him, and then.
That's good.
Yeah.
Probably hop in the shower.
Yeah, he definitely hopped in the shower. He was definitely like, I want to kill myself.
Did he shower at your house? Was this at your house?
No. This was at his house, and he was like basically like, yeah, goodbye after.
Oh fuck. I mean, what's your worst story? I think you have a good one.
I mean, probably. I've been walked in on a few times, and probably the worst.
By a father?
By a mother. I mean, father is worse now that I think about it, so I shouldn't have whispered that. Mother.
No, yeah, father is
because a mom.
Wait, you've been walked in on two separate times, a mom and a dad?
No, I'm trying to think if I've been walked in on by a father, because that's just fucking ruthless.
Dude, I'd be scared, bro.
No, and if I have, I don't think he noticed. But there was a time I was walked in on by a mother, and it was not like, it wasn't like, oh, she kind of saw what was going on, but didn't really. It was like, we were on the couch. We thought her parents left, and they did. So we just acted like we had the fucking house to ourselves, because we did at that point. And I don't know if they levitated back home, but they made no fucking noise.
The Tesla.
And they went and exchanged their car for a fucking Tesla and just creeped back in and made zero sound. And I don't think they meant to.
Intentional.
You think?
1,000% intentional. Because, dude, when you're coming in, when any normal person coming in the house, they're fucking slamming doors, throwing their keys. You know, no one's tiptoeing around their own house. They were looking for trouble. Let me tell you.
Look, all I'm saying is that there was couch, wall.
Why would you fuck on the couch?
Because we thought we had the house to ourselves. We thought they were going to be gone for hours.
It's like, bro,
See, I would still get nervous and be like, yeah.
Because we're on the couch, and sometimes shit just happens in the moment. Okay?
Yeah. I get it.
Okay. I thought you like.
I wasn't like, let's get out of the bed and go down to the couch.
Right.
We were on the couch.
Right.
So couch, then there's like wall, but there's like an opening, like doorway.
Okay.
And then straight shot to the door outside.
Okay.
So she came in through the door outside, and there was no like, oh, we were kissing or whatever. Like, we were going for it. And I hear 1 nanometer away from the doorway, I just hear a disturbance in the force, a little creak in the floor. Something was wrong.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get overly descriptive, but she had time to just about get off and pull a cover over herself. And I was, oh my God, dude. I was sitting there with a full fucking boner.
Right.
And her mom walks in to the doorway looking at us, and I'm there with a full boner, and she's next to me naked with like a thing pulled over her.
But
and
you were...
Wait, were you clothed or were you covered?
No,
You were
butt-ass naked,
completely
bro.
naked.
Completely exposed.
Damn.
And the only thing I had time for, here's how much of a time crunch I was in. I didn't even have time to like pull a cover over myself because there was nothing, and I had to do something within half a second. So I took the TV remote and I placed it right in front of my boner, sticking up in the air.
Right.
So that it was just...
I hope it wasn't one of those like sound bar TV remotes that was like this big. It's like this thin, and it's like fucking like it's like 3 inches and this thin, and it's like, or like the Apple TV remote, Apple TV remote.
It was. She was probably like, "Why you disrespecting my remote like that?" I probably should have just gone into the fucking fetal position, and so she just, because she was gonna know what was going on anyway. But I don't know. And at the time, I just thought TV remote in front of the boner, and
selfish
she
of your
walked
girl
in.
at the time.
Why? My girl?
Yeah, she should have thrown the blanket on you.
Yeah, honestly.
think
Like
it's
I wouldn't
just
want to
instinct,
see.
bro.
Yeah, no, it's
true,
definitely
true,
instinct
true.
for
You're
sure.
just like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there.
She left you out to fucking dry, bro.
Yeah. And
Left you in the rain.
and her mom walks in and she says the girl's name. I'll call her
Allison.
Allison. And she walks in, and this is a Christian conservative mother. She is not fucking around. And she walks in, but she, like, she's Christian conservative, but, you know, she's going to give her daughter a little bit of freedom. And she, oh my God, I'll never forget that look, bro. She just, like, was like, holy fucking shit. Like, her eyes were just like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
And she just looked at her daughter and said, "Oh, Allison, we just came back to grab something, but we're gonna go now."
She took it good. I thought she was about to grab the belt,
no,
bro.
no.
Nah,
I'm just
that's
saying,
too awkward.
That's just like, in that case, it actually would have made it less embarrassing because it's like, oh, come on, man, it's just sex. Like, geez, what do you expect? Your daughter's not having sex. But the fact that she was just so mortified, and both of us are mortified, and then she just turns around and walks away, and I'm still there with the TV remote.
Did you guys continue?
Yeah.
Wait, how old were you?
Yo, fucking high five over the table, bro.
Wait, how old
high
were
fives
you?
all around.
Maybe
Sick.
18
So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was going high fives all around.
or 19.
Okay.
Brutal.
Damn, but you guys did continue. Damn, dude, I thought my story would have been cool, but like yours was pretty cool. But my story is pretty simple. It's fucking, we're going at it. I go pretty hard. I like to think so. And I was like classic missionary and started like bleeding out of my nose, and I was like, what the fuck? And I remembered this was like not too long ago. She fucking hit me in the nose, or she had she must have
elbowed him.
She must have had elbowed me or something. Like she like switching.
Yeah. And you didn't really notice because in the moment you're like, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, I thought it was like spit or something, and so I
You
just
thought a punch was spit?
no. I thought like the blood was spit.
Oh.
Like, I'm spitting on her shit. And it like nicked it. It didn't even hit it. It nicked it. And I think it was because of the Cialis, actually. The Cialis will like...
just started flowing.
Yeah, the Cialis, a lot of blood flow. And so what happened was it was a lot of blood. And I was like... And we had the lights on. And I like opened my eyes and I see there's blood on her. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then I just go one of these and I'm like, all right, I got to...
Yeah.
And I was kind of embarrassed. But
You
then
didn't
again...
really feel it?
No, because... Oh, that's the last thing I'm worried about is like what's on my face.
I know, no, but like when I have a bloody nose, like I immediately taste it in my throat. Like I'm like,
yeah, but I'm breathing through my mouth. Like,
and your head was probably also like...
yeah, my head is down. Exactly. So none of it's going down my throat.
Like something's not right.
None of it's going down my throat. It's all going outwards.
Yeah.
And so I was just like bleeding on her. I was like, holy shit. And honestly, looking back on it, it's kind of cool. Like not like, bro, I have such rough sex, bro. It's so sick.
Dude, I get nosebleeds.
I get nosebleeds, bro. We hit each other. But yeah,
Only after she punches me in the nose, but that's a different story.
Honestly, that's probably best sex story, not worst. But yeah, that's mine.
That's my most embarrassing. I can't think of anything that could ever top
Yeah.
that.
No, mine's not as bad as like...
Getting caught is so bad.
But
yours, I'm glad
4K,
you said
bro.
yours because... Call it 4K. I'm glad we said yours because, that's shit happens a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we are coming up on an hour
embarrassing.
45 minutes.
Yeah, we should cut this off. But it's been a great talk.
Maybe we should do two-parter. Is this a two-parter? We'll talk about it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But I do want to say, if you guys made it this far, we're going to put timestamps in the video. So I hope you guys appreciate us putting timestamps. And you guys have been asking about, why aren't you guys monetizing the videos?
Because we're cool like that.
Yeah, we're cool. We don't want ads to be ruined. We don't want to be talking about like some juicy shit and then an ad just pops up. So we're not going to do ads. We're going to kind of just wait until maybe we can get a sponsor for the podcast. So if there's any companies listening about our nosebleed sex and period sex and you want to get in on this, feel free to email us. Email us at themogcast@gmail.com. But yeah, I think we should wrap it up.
That's it. Thanks for tuning in.
Everyone, say thank you to Noelle for coming out here, and it's been a blast.
Thanks, guys.
She leaves tomorrow.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. And thank you for being our guest.
Of course.